During the trip, I got closer and closer and closer to myself. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I quickly wanted to recap. I feel so grateful and so happy that I just put myself out there without feeling ready. I also felt a little bit uncomfortable seeing it back, especially the thought of sharing it on my socials and that everyone saw it, and everyone has access to seeing me talk. But I think it's just exposure therapy, and it's just a way to normalize it and think and rewire our brains that it's normal that people are able to see and hear us. Basically, healing my inner child, because I've always been a very quiet girl. And I remember when I was doing presentations when I was younger at school, I remember I got so sick. Like, I got sick in the morning. I just didn't want to go to school because the moments I had to stand in front of everyone, like, I could feel my heart drop. But now, doing this exposure therapy by just putting myself out there, because I have a feeling that I need to say something and I want to say something. Yeah, nothing should hold me back. And this is such a good lesson for everyone, I feel like. Um, okay, but let's continue on this second episode. I was thinking about maybe I want to focus more on my life here in Copenhagen, but I think the past months I've been thinking so much and I've been recapping mentally, also journaling a lot, thinking about all the decisions I've made, not just far in the past, but also just the past year, because exactly today I moved 1 year ago. It's my anniversary living here in Copenhagen, and it just reminded me taking decisions bring you further in life, and each decision that you make will take you where you will need to be, and there will never be a wrong decision. Of course, it's easier said than done because there are so many options. Also, not choosing, that's also an option. And I think you always need to make a decision, because if you don't make a decision, you won't move forward. So it's just about taking the steps, taking the actions. And now that I'm looking back at the past year, and maybe I can even make another episode out of this, I really don't regret any decisions I've made in the past. I really am at peace with where I am right now, because every decision that I make makes me return to myself a little more every single time. I always go back to my own foundation, which is myself and that inner voice that I trust. The people you meet along the way, the experience you have along the way will shape you into the person you are today. Instead of trying to move forward all the time, I really wanted to look back a little bit and recap on my trip to Australia and the things that I've learned about myself, because I really went into a different environment for 2 months, and that really changed everything for me. Something that I noticed about myself, and something that I was not used to back when I was in Copenhagen, that I was already in this fight or flight survival mode, basically. I think I got aware of it even more, also because I was visiting a friend. She was in the Australian environment for quite some time already, and I think it was really a mirror for me to see how different that was to me. We were enjoying so many things, we were doing a lot of things, but then I was also struggling internally, um, thinking, oh, I need to be consistent with this and this and this. Especially if I look back at the end, how much peace I was able to find in staying present, also setting boundaries for myself. During the trip, I got closer and closer and closer to myself. I'm so much of an ocean girl. I just love being by the sea and just the sound of it. But also when there's a sunrise or sunset, it's so calming, and especially the morning walks. I really appreciated the early sunrise. It was so calming, but also so amazing to see how everyone else was on the beach as well, working out, journaling, minding their own business, just watching people or doing whatever. And they would do this around 6 a.m. in the morning. And it's just the perfect way to start the day. I think it has been so special to be able to experience this with a really close friend of mine, and we were really able to build our routine there. And in the beginning, I could really see how she was living her life there, and it really made me appreciate these small rituals, small moments. I'm able to adjust really well, but in the beginning, finding that foundation, that stability is so important. So, traveling around too many times also doesn't work. The moments that made me feel most like myself is when I'm disciplined, actually. Working out consistently, something that we did so much. I loved it so much. The morning routines were amazing. And also my alone time, the times that I just really had to clear my mind and yeah, write a lot of things down. And also the shopping. Oh my gosh, we went to Paddington for a day and it was so nice. It was such a nice day trip. I'm also just a simple girl because I also love just going for matcha, shopping, and yeah. Ik vind het zo leuk. Okay, we're going deep now. I'm completely honest here, but something that I have struggled with, basically, yeah, I've struggled with this my whole life, and that has been my boundaries. And I think it's something that will always be on top of mind, but now that I'm so much more aware of it, it gets easier and easier every single time. But I'm really learning how to set my own boundaries and knowing. I mean, I always know what I want, but I always tend to think of the other person instead. So when I'm thinking from my own perspective, it feels selfish. It just feels so unnatural, but I think it feels so unnatural because I was never used to it. For me, it's just having the respect for myself and setting boundaries for myself. For example, now that I'm filming on specific days and wanting to upload every Sunday, I'm really writing down. And also when you're working for yourself, like this is the biggest thing when you're working for yourself. If you don't have any boundaries, you're not gonna make things work. Something that I created now for myself for Luáh Studios is that I have specific. So in the beginning of the week, I plan my entire week, and I've made a system where I have specific blocks in my calendar where I focus on creative flow or I'm more grounding. So I really have these focus points, themes basically, where I'm able to actually set the boundary for myself so I'm not able to lose myself. And this is because I'm just a very flowy person. I love just see where it goes, and then I'm also just very excited and I keep on going and going, and I'm like, yeah, and this energy. And then at one point I'm like, I'm fully drained, and I'm not kidding. um but this is, I feel like this is not me anymore, but this used to be me before. Now really structuring more, and the structure is helping me so much to be able to yeah, be creative, but also within the structure being more flexible as well, because if I'm too hard on myself, then I also don't like to do it. I'm at this point where I know myself pretty well and know how to work with it, especially if you're working on your own. And that inner stability also that I created living here in Copenhagen made me appreciate it even more, because this is really my safe space. It's always the foundation. The stability helps me to regulate emotions, to be creative. If there's a good foundation, I'm able to build and grow. I think it's mostly just self awareness, where I'm able to realize what is happening and translating it into real life, and knowing where I need to change certain things in my life, and um, also not being scared about being open. I'm realizing that setting my boundaries isn't selfish, setting boundaries is showing respect to myself, my own needs, and I think realizing that you're so much stronger than you think, and sometimes you realize how you always need to go back to yourself and try to find the strength within yourself, because I know everyone has that. Like, you need to trust your intuition. It's just insane how, especially women, we are so powerful, and I think that is something we really, really need to realize. I really feel like I have been rambling a lot. I don't know if there's a clear storyline in this video, and maybe I wanted to talk more about Australia and what I did, but I think you probably saw it in all the clips. It has been such an amazing, grounding experience, and I would love to go back there. I remember when I left at the end of February, I thought, yeah, okay, no, I think I'm gonna shift timelines, and I think life really hits in a way. And of course, it seemed perfect, and we were on the beach and we were doing everything, but internally, I was just going through so much, even though I'm pretty good at regulating myself, but I just kept thinking, spiraling, do I need to change everything about my life right now? Or what do I do? What do I do? And it always just comes back to foundation. The foundation is so important, and finding that inner stability. Also, let me know in the comments if this story resonates with you, if it's relatable. I would love to hear your story, and maybe we can talk about it. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next episode.